Welcome everyone to an exciting conclusion of Retro Encounter where we talk about the ending for Zelda Majora's Mask. As always, I'm Josh Curry. With me is Alana Hagues.
Hey.
And Stephanie Sybydlo.
Hi everybody.
So, we made it. We hopefully collected most of the masks, or all the masks. We saved the world from an evil moon. A jerk skull kid. How did everybody like the ending of it?
I loved it.
Yeah, the ending was good. The ending was good. I think it was a rocky road, but it was good in the end. I liked the conclusion. I liked it was a kind of Ocarina of Time situation where everybody's just oblivious that he saved the world and he can go back to Hyrule, and everyone in Termina will just and everyone in Termina will just forget him. So
So even though you seem like a rich rupee hoarding son of a bitch, you go back to your realm as a child, and I guess you're forced, and nobody ever spoke of it again.
Exactly. Hard life, Link.
So
Sorry.
I took it at, fine, yay, we saved the world. But it's really depressing. Ridiculously depressing.
Yes.
Because
it is a very bad game.
Everything that you fixed is broken. Unless you did a crazy last 3 days and tried to fix everything again and somehow fit all that in. People are still frozen places, people die drowning, there's missing eggs, all that stuff that you fixed is still broken.
Yeah, I'd not thought of that. I thought of it in terms of gameplay, but I hadn't thought of it in terms of story, because obviously I don't know if you did what I did. To get to the end of the game, I just started a new day, fast forwarded it to midnight on the third day, and went up the clock tower. That was the only thing I did on that day.
Yep.
Actually, there's some players who consciously, before they go take on the moon, they actually do all the dungeons again, and beat the boss, just to kind of get that good ending.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Does
it change anything? Yeah.
It doesn't do anything, but it's just to ease your own mind, I guess, about it.
I didn't have the heart to do that. I did all that stuff once, that was enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the Snow Temple. There's too many Snow Temples in Zelda games. I did that one a couple of times because there are so many things locked behind the Gorons with the Ice Temple. I just had to do it.
Equipment, right? Mostly?
Yeah, I mean, the boss was easy, and it's my favourite boss, so I didn't mind, but really? Come on. But, yeah. But I like that idea, that it is a really depressing game. Even if you do everything, it's still kind of I don't know, just like a little kid who got into some mischief, and I don't know, it's just...
Legend of Zelda through the looking glass.
Pretty much. It pretty much is.
Yeah. Did you guys ever do a tour of Clocktown on the final 5 minutes just to see the kind of character reactions?
Oh, no, I didn't.
That is probably the bread and butter for me of what's most depressing. So if you go visit the sisters on the farm, you see that they're kind of hiding inside of a barn, just trying to hide away from the end of the world.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry, yeah, the older one gives the younger one kind of that alcoholic milk or whatever, just because it's the last time she'll ever be able to drink it.
Yeah.
The swordsman goes to hiding. Or sorry, the swordsman goes on quote unquote vacation, but he's actually just hiding in the back of his shop and just kind of scared.
Yeah, I did see him. Yeah. But that's the way they would change their reactions throughout, even that last day. The gods are in. They watch the moon fall down pretty much, and they're like, you must go. And they're almost saluting it, kind of, and it's you're that resigned? Really? And I think the apex of that is probably the Anju and Cafe quest.
Yeah.
If you do that, I didn't do it all. I got really annoyed at it and screwed up the puzzle bit with the two of them.
Oh, isn't that sad?
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, I did that.
Yeah,
at first I couldn't remember what you were talking about. And yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. If you watch that at the very end, that's super depressing. It was one of those I finished it and got my mask, and I'm like, oh, I'm happy I got a mask. I gotta close my 3DS and do something else because this is
It's raining. It's not my face.
This is
Somebody
terrible.
cutting onions, yeah. Yeah, they really make you feel it where he's just kind of he's not angry, he's not disturbingly sad, he just kind of like resigns. It's like, well, dang. That's that. And I goofed.
Yeah.
The puzzles are really easy too, but like since you're under that time constraint, you just kind of, stop thinking clearly.
Pretty much, yeah. I think I was just losing patience. I did it the same day I finished the game, so I think I was just kind of resigned that I wanted to get it over with at this point, which I feel bad for, but
yeah, I limped to the end, I feel like, because as I famously put on Twitter, I went for a 100% run, and I think I either got it or I'm at like 99.8 or something crazy. But I got all the masks. I think I got all the hearts. I did all the fairy stuff. I think
I do
did
like
all
they
the
really,
quests.
really reward you for doing it. I mean, you just go into the final boss just killing it if you do everything.
Just destruction.
Oh, it was really easy without the mask, though, I must say.
It is like push A to win.
Shoot some arrows, maybe.
It was kind of.
Yeah.
I'm happy. It was when I was like, I got rewarded for all my hard work, but at the same time, I was like, oh well, that was anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he shoots like those discuses or whatever from a sword, right? By that point, you're just like, yeah, whatever, dead.
There's just stuff flying everywhere, and I was like, all right, well, he used to have a health bar, I'm sure, but.
Actually, that was not to kind of zigzag around though, but okay, no, maybe we shouldn't. Okay, so Great Bay Temple, thoughts?
Terrible.
Oh, yeah, pretty dreadful. I mean, the Water Temple gets a bit of a bad rep, but I mean, maybe it's, I don't know. I don't know what it was like in the original version, so I believe it's slightly more color-coded now. I think that might be the biggest difference. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember, but yeah, I mean, it's not hard, but it's just a different variation of raise the water level. It's just change the pipes.
Yeah.
So great. Go back and forth. If you go down the wrong one, you've got to swim against the current. Oh no, you missed the door. Oh,
that was
great.
It was the current stuff that was super annoying. I think
the current stuff, yeah, and then it just kind of leads you doing loops that you didn't wanna.
Right, and then beyond that, like I feel like the first two dungeons specifically, all the characters' exterior and surrounding that whole dungeon structure were fantastic. I found all of the plots to do with anything with water to just be not as good, and so you're just kind of like, I need to get through this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree.
They seem really conscious of that, though. Like the Skyward Sword, Water Temple, and the Twilight Princess one are not nearly as convoluted.
I've heard Great Cistern or something like that, and Skyward Sword is probably the best water temple in the series. I didn't get that far. I gave up before that.
It's not only probably the best water temple, but in my opinion, it's one of my favorite dungeons, period. Like, so at least that one kind of shot up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like visually and the boss, same thing. Is just a lot of fun to fight.
Nice. Yeah, there's some mythology behind it, isn't there? I believe.
Yeah, it's based in like Buddhist mythology, like on a visual level. It's very beautiful.
See, that's nice. That's again like the key with Majora's Mask is it's slightly different from Zelda, but I like the lore in the Skyward Sword boss, so they should do some more of that. That would be really cool.
The lore, especially, like a lot of the theories on what's the Sky Temple? Hang on, brain farting. Stone Tower. Yeah, the Stone Tower. Like a lot of people have read into like a lot of the mythology behind that place, and that stuff gets pretty interesting too.
Nice.
Where it's like it's supposed to be the antithesis to the Hyrule Triforce and all that stuff. Where it's like people who hated it and all that.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a ton of... I don't know how true they are, or it's just people reading into it, but it's still a pretty cool read if you're into those.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, Great Bay is not great. But
and the most interesting
you do get
thing, I think,
the pirate ship and the egg finding. Ugh, I hated that part.
Oh, don't. I hate sneak missions. I mean, this sneak mission's not too bad because you'll have you should have the stone mask before.
And that's I like how they just ruins it then, though, because then it's all right. I don't have to sneak, but there's nothing going on either.
I like how they put that in there, though. It's like, yeah. If you just want to get past this, hey, the guy's here.
I know in the N64 version, the stone mask was has been swapped with the captain's hat. So you got the captain's hat in the fortress rather than the stone mask. So you'd have to go out of your way to go and get it to make it easier.
Yeah, so I think they did that just, to kind of easy mode it for just, either players who are kind of sick of it or just don't want to go, run back and forth.
Yeah, I do hate sneaking missions anyway, so yeah.
Yeah, I took advantage of it. I was like, yeah, whatever, I don't care.
I have nightmares of that silly one at the beginning of Ocarina of Time. I think it's Ocarina of Time where you have to sneak into the castle.
That song is such a tumor.
Just... Oh my god, I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten about the music. But yeah. You do get the best item in the Great Bay Temple though.
And that
hook shot. The hook shot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Hook shot.
Hook shot is always the best. Always my favorite.
It's actually like almost like a like a rites ceremony. Like, yes, I got the game's hook shot finally. And it allows you to kind of whiz around cool places that you couldn't before. All the weird marked spots you found earlier, you could finally get to them.
Yeah.
So I always love when you finally get that hook shot. Bombs, it's like, yeah, okay, whatever, finally, bombs, cool. Arrows, been there. Hook shot is awesome.
Yep. Hook shot is special.
Yeah, I kind of wish it, because in most games, doesn't it come sooner? Much sooner?
Yeah, it's quite late in Majora's Mask.
I know when really reward it and save the best for last.
Yeah, but yeah. See, I like the light arrows as well. They're really good, and they're like you can power through the final boss with the light arrows. But you don't really use them. You probably use them just to. We'll get onto Stone Tower Temple anyway, but you only use them for that temple. And the only other thing you'd probably use it for is to get a heart piece for storing the money in the bank. But yeah, the hook shot does feel really late. And in Twilight Princess, you get a double hook shot, don't you? Quite late in the game, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
at some point, because of just like the collectathon that you go on, I kind of found that each like additional item that I got had less resonance with me. Because you had to use the early items so much to get through it, and even at the end of the game, they're still bringing it back. And so, like, the hook shot almost felt like an afterthought to me. It's like, oh, we've done this in other games, we need to include it.
Yeah.
And it was kind of disappointing because everybody always brags, like, oh, the hook shot is so cool. And I was like, well, this time it was like, it felt not enough, I guess. I don't know. So that was a little disappointing for me.
In Twilight Princess, I always thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah, maybe it's just to put the focus on the masks a little bit more, so you don't seem to get as much gear in other Zelda games. But I think probably the masks take the position of the equipment, perhaps.
The items, yeah. Yeah, because like all three of like Link specific items you get in the dungeon is just the fire arrow, ice arrow, and then the light arrow. So like he's kind of got his task as the arrow guy.
Yeah, you use the Eye of Truth twice. And the mirror shield, well, the mirror shield becomes a piece of equipment anyway. It's standard, but
I love the mirror shield in this game.
Oh, it's so weird, isn't it? I just remember picking it up and thinking, that's not happy. That's not comfortable.
The game is so good at just throwing creepy faces at you,
Yeah, we were saying, weren't we? I was just so weird that. Oh.
Freaked out when the mummy version of that dad comes out of the music house. It took me a proper jump the first time. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I overall didn't like most of the second half of the game as much as I liked the first half, but the whole mummy segment and going to like the underworld or when you're going in like the graves, I liked that section a lot.
And you get to see like the king of the old kingdom and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah,
that was good.
I found that both very interesting and then also just I liked how the dungeons were built and just the whole aesthetic to it.
Yeah.
And then they did a really cool thing with the mask. And I can't remember any of the names of the masks. I apologize. But
they pull the funny again. If you're fighting that skeleton boss, if you take out the captain's mask, then he'll actually confuse you for the captain.
That's exactly what I was about to bring up, and I loved that. That was like, it was just like a little nod of like, yep, we're aware that this is there. Here's a little extra story that you didn't need, but if you stumble across it, this is ridiculously cool.
You did the Skeletula house though, right? Where same thing, you got like more of those skeleton enemies there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so same thing. They don't attack you if you wear it, and they're like, "Oh, Captain," and like they give you a salute and everything. It's really cute, I always like when the Nintendo does that kind of funny stuff. They're very good at it.
They are good at it when they try. Is it the captain's mask? Yeah. Is it the captain's mask you wear into the castle? If you wear it, the Redeads don't attack you, and instead they do that really creepy dance. Oh no, it's the other one. It's the one which you can see all the dead people with when they come out and attack you. If you put that on and you go into Ikana Castle, the Redeads are doing this really creepy dance, and I'm just sort of like, I kind of wish you'd just attack me. It's like scary.
I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah. That game is just filled with like weird little details like that. Zelda games are just jam-packed with small details like this.
Yeah.
Oh man. There was like somebody made a list too of like all those tiny little insignificant details in Twilight Princess that again, it all has to get programmed in, right? And it's just cool that when, you find these little things, somebody consciously put it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, these aren't little glitches. These were like conscious decisions to add more. And that's like I said, I limped to the end, but those were those little, I'd stumble across one of those and that would be kind of like reinvigorate me to like, yeah, I need to see the end of this. This is interesting, or like I like what they're doing here. And so it was nice because every time I was like, I was just about to be like, I don't think I can beat this, and one of those pop up, I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. I have to see if there's anything else like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so Stone Tower thoughts?
Oh, I love Stone Tower. So different to Great Bay. Possibly my favorite temple, I think, definitely of the game, I would say. But I'm not sure about series, but game definitely.
It definitely stands out the most, yeah, game-wise.
Yeah, it changes up the formula a little bit. Like, I mean, you don't have any new masks. Well, you do have one new mask to try out, song. Sorry, not mask. So it plays around with that.
The only thing I hate about that temple is the song that you learn. That's the only thing I hate about it.
Yeah,
it takes forever.
Yeah, and I don't like looking at those statues. Like, they're so creepy. But yeah, I like the way that it was kind of, it's like Symphony of the Night. Like, oh, let's turn the castle upside down. I like that because you can play around with it. But then getting the fairies was a bit of a pain. But I do like it. It's a good change of pace, I think, for a Zelda temples.
I actually thought it was really clever that they switched the, sorry, I'm backtracking, but they switched the fairy rewards for the second and third temple, because in the original one, the third temple gives you a magic bar increase, which is way more useful when you're a Goron, and you're always doing the spin dash thing.
Yeah, that's true. You get it on the first, don't you?
Yeah, so they mucked up the Zora mask, but they did something good with the Goron, at least. Goron was probably my favorite just to roam around the field with.
Yeah. Roll around everywhere.
I think it was the greatest.
Yeah, I was a lot of times in Goron and I would just roll, or I had the bunny ears on almost constantly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just so I could get everywhere so much quicker.
Every game should have just a fast walking option, your sprint shoes or whatever.
Oh, I was gonna go with every game should have bunny ears, but sure, fast shoes. That's okay too.
Yeah, sure. Let's get everybody wearing cute little bunny ears. I mean, whatever works.
That's the only disconnect I had, because I'd go to these, like, you could tell they're just supposed to be, like, depressing cutscenes, and then Link would just be hanging out, like, yeah, I got some bunny ears on, what's up?
Oh, hey guys, what's going on? I'm here. I'll handle this.
Don't mind me. Just a little kid wearing a bunny suit.
But yeah, so the statues left behind by the Elegy of Emptiness are all terribly creepy, and I love them to death.
Yeah. Just want a little one on my desk. Like, just I don't even know what it would do. It wouldn't motivate me. It would just.
Well, it's a what do you call it? What do you call it? A page holder or whatever?
Oh, page turner?
No. What are those called?
Like
The paperweight.
Oh,
Yeah.
paperweight. Oh God. Yeah.
But yeah, they all look creepy. The Link one especially, which just stares into your soul with its dead eyes.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Yep. But yeah, what does Josh think of Stone Tower Temple?
Didn't like it. And so I originally was really, really upset. And I wasn't sure because I went straight from basically like the water temple to this, and the water temple almost broke me, like I said. So I just wasn't in the best mood for the game when I got to the stone tower, and then you have to flip it upside down. I don't know why, but that really pissed me off. And I think
the time constraint, the fact that there's still like another half to go is a bit daunting.
It was I was trying to get all the stray fairies, and then I had this like tick in the back of my mind of like, did I miss something when I flipped it upside down? Is it now? Can I not get this? And then I used walkthroughs periodically through it, like just the game. Like, oh, I have no idea what this quest means. What are they talking about? Oh, I have to walk into a toilet and give somebody a map. Or a deed, of course, because that makes sense. So, like, for that type of stuff, you're just not going to be able to piece it together just naturally. But I felt like we were getting crunch time to be able to finish, and I was like, I need to follow this walkthrough because this is extra complicated, and it just felt needlessly complicated. And I feel like a lot of times you can make something complicated, and it improves the experience or makes it more interesting, and this just seemed obtuse to be obtuse because it's like, hey, you're almost at the end of the game. We have to just make something that's annoying.
I sort of get what you mean. I still really appreciate the temple for what it is.
I love the art design of the temple.
Yeah, I think that's what really did it for me each time. And the whole area, oh shoot, what's it called? Ikana.
Ikana Canyon?
Really interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's extra interesting because you just came from the Bay Coast. That's just terrible. And so all of that just looks so much better. But yeah, it just the first half of the game for me was much more interesting, and it was nice to have kind of the conclusions to a lot of the stories, where like characters that you'd seen or places that you'd really wanted to go in the first half of the game, you finally were able to for the second half that we played through, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of ironic. I didn't like most of the side quests in the first half of the game, but I loved the temples. And the second half, I loved all the side quests. Didn't really like the temples, so it kind of complete opposite reactions from me.
I sort of had it where I didn't like the stuff that you have to do to get to each temple, but I liked a lot of the side quests, and I thought the dungeons kind of balanced out.
Yeah.
Any sense, Whereas Twilight Princess, I loved every dungeon. The stuff in between was okay.
Yeah, the process was what was putting me off slowly. I mean, Ikana Canyon wasn't as. Do I prefer? I don't really know if I prefer either of the processes, but I think that the temples are better than the processes. But yeah, not like Great Bay's instance, not much. But
egg hunting and then pirate ship, I was just I hated that so much.
Yeah, they were so long. Like
that's it.
They were like as long as a temple. It was like 3 temples before another temple, and it's like, I mean, you might as well just make 3 more temples rather than just have 4 ones, and then additional bits.
That break the series if there was more than 4 temples?
Oh no, because there's like 8 in Ocarina of Time, and that's probably not right. There's more than 4.
Okay.
There's more than 4 in Twilight Princess, I'm pretty sure, and there's more than 4 in Minish Cap. But
4 plus the final dungeon usually. Usually they do like either 4 or 8.
Yeah.
Or screw around the way they did with Wind Waker, but they usually try to go for 8, I think.
Okay. Yeah, because we talked last podcast, the games I've always played, it appeared that there's only 4 and then a final for that. So.
Yeah.
So we kind of touched on the side quests. What was everybody's favorite side quest that we played?
Favorite side quest.
Ooh.
I do like the Anjun Cafe thing. I mean, they really go all out for that one, and you can tell. There's so much involved in it. You get like 3 or 4 masks in the process. I think the couple's mask is like brilliantly designed too. So I don't know, I'm stuck to that stuff. Yeah, it's like a pearl with like a couple like lines, but it looks like people embracing or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, Andrew Cafe I think is up there. I did like a lot of just the side content where you're kind of mucking around with the captain's mask though. Oh, and the dancing mask. I always thought that one was really cool.
Oh god, that one's so weird.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Just place the man's torso on your face.
And all of a sudden to that weird, that weird song.
I just always love that. It's like if you talk to those 2 girls on the street, they're dancing, and you wear the freaky dancing mask. They're like, "Oh my god!" and they like freak out, and they're all so excited. And you take it off, and you have not moved, and you're like, "Hey!" and they're like, "Get away from here!" And I'm like, "Oh, I just helped you."
Super rude, yeah.
I know.
And then you put the mask back on. Oh my god! I'm like, "Yeah, there's a disconnect here. You don't realize what has happened when I take this on and off."
There's an old trend of really rude characters in the Zelda games. It's like you gotta help them before they start talking to you.
Yeah.
I was always pissed off at Link for some reason or another. Yeah, so that one was really good. Shoot, I was gonna say another one. Oh, one I didn't like was the whole alien thing.
Oh, that's like my favorite one.
Oh, I was gonna say that. I really liked that one.
I loved it and I hated it. I did hate the music that plays during it. I just think it's super duper weird and weirdly programmed.
Yeah.
But I like the effects, and I like the girl doesn't seem to have been taken up in a strange ship and come back weird the next day. So
see, and that's what I love is it's one of the few I feel like that you absolutely get to see the after effects of what happens if you didn't help.
Yeah. Okay.
That is true. Yeah, it's also the most bizarre quest.
Oh, it's so weird. It doesn't
alien
comes out of nowhere. It's like
It makes no sense. I like stopped and was like, am I still playing the same game? Like what's going on?
Yeah, so I guess they're just kind of taking a riff on the whole like cows and aliens kind of thing. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. So I really liked everything with the Romani like kind of farm because I liked the aliens as weird as it was. It's interesting because you get to see the girl before and after in both regards. You finally get your horse back, and then you get to experience, which you probably are, at least I already experienced, the 2 brothers from the rival milk gang.
Oh yeah.
But the turf wars for the milk, man.
Yeah, but you get to experience that like when you escort, which I don't like escort missions, but that one's super easy, so it's not that big of a deal. It's just I liked the dynamics of the whole milk and the farm and the little girl. So that and then obviously the cafe. Those were my 2 standout quests. And then of course.
So weird. His mask is crying all the time or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gormani mask. It's always crying. I was like, what in the hell? Like a lot more to that quest than meets the eye or whatever.
The crying eye.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, and then eventually you find the 3rd gang member. There's just a lot of little things where just everything's intermixed. And then if you kind of, even if you're only semi-paying attention, you catch on to a lot. But if you're really, really paying attention, there's characters that know other characters from everywhere. There's like it's heavily implied that Skull Kid, there we go.
Skull Boy.
Got it.
That Skull Kid used to be like, or tried to hang out with the little kid gang that's in town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's like little nods of like, originally this group's helping you out, but then they find out that they hurt this group, and then you're going to go do this to help them, but they're rivals with this, and it's kind of amazing because this is an older game, but it actually feels like a community, like a kind of a living, breathing community.
Yeah, I thought it was actually, when I played it again, I thought it was way ahead of its time with regards to that. They didn't really have good characterization in the N64 era, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, this was a really, really spot-on attempt at it, and they did really well.
Yeah. And it actually, the journal, I think, does a disservice to it, because it shows, oh, this person will be here from this time to this time, and I understand why it's important, but it kind of shows, like, behind the stage of, like, what's going on, where it seems less formulaic if you're just wandering around and experiencing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I overall really liked the whole town dynamic and everything that was going on with the people and how little things made a big difference.
It was a good hub town.
Was.
Sorry, and Alana, you said the farm was your favorite side quest too?
Oh yeah, I did. One of my favorites. I think Anju and the ranch one, were two of my favorites. And branching off of that, I also liked going into the milk bar and playing all the music. I thought that was really cute. I was like, what? But it's so easy. How can you hate something that's so easy and so simple? But anyway,
I really just didn't like playing music in this game.
Oh, why? That's nice.
I want my ocarina. That's all I want. And then.
Oh no, I like the fact they all had different instruments because it was.
It's a nice touch, but it's still annoying.
The feeling was really nice, but I thought the unique tunes were pretty much a swing and a miss.
Oh.
Yeah, true. I also like the sculpture houses as well. Just a nice little puzzles just little puzzles to do. They were quite fun.
There's a lot of little secrets in the 4-room spans or whatever they have. So I always thought it was really fun to kind of go through and dissect every one of them.
They were just creepy as well. Anything that's creepy in this game, and I'll probably like it. To be quite honest with you, this
one on the swamp was beautiful too. I love the look of that one.
Yeah, it's great, that one. But no, I really like those. I think those are the only ones I can think of for now. The rest are all just kind of mini games and that.
Yeah, those were the two main kind of quests that were actually fully fleshed out beyond just kind of a fetch quest or something more minor. Because a lot of the quests, oh, I do this, and they're here's a mask. I'm I just talked to you.
Right on.
Sure, okay.
Have my life savings.
Big stamp goes on, and then there'd be other times that I would try to do something, like the deeds. It took me forever to figure out with the whole deeds for that flower.
Oh no,
because
that was so frustrating.
I kept doing stuff and all right, well, why isn't it stamping? And then I'd do something else and still not stamped and still not stamped. And I was this is the quest that never ends.
I think it is one of the ones that goes all game long, right?
Yeah, because you have to find things in every area basically, and there's a lot of requirements for that, which was
Damn it. Actually, so I know the series doesn't usually recycle ideas, but having masks again is something I'd actually kill to see.
I think so, in one way or another, definitely. Maybe not as a main feature, but I think.
And throw in a few more. This time you get a Gerudo mask and you turn into a buxom lady.
Oh yeah.
A bit weird, but might be fun.
That would be cool, a Sheik transformation almost.
Yeah.
That would be great. Actually, Zelda needs her own Zelda game.
Zelda absolutely needs her own Zelda game. The game's named after her.
Not the CDI one.
No, that doesn't count.
I think we talked about this last podcast where we wanted Zelda to go save Link, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I think we'd said that Link would have a breakdown and we'd go and save him, and then he'd be the final boss or something, or kick off something along those lines.
He goes through depression and just drinks alcoholic milk.
Yeah, it's just
pretty much.
At this time, you go ahead. I'm done.
Nobody ever remembers all these amazing things I do.
They do in history.
Boo! It's not money.
It's not money. That's true. It's not rupees.
So much money at the end of the game. Because I got
you have a method for doing that.
I got the big fat wallet or whatever, the crazy big one.
I got the big wallet and the hot piece.
Just north of the town, there's one of those secret little grottos that you can go fight 2 of those Dodongos, and they give you 50 rupees a piece.
No, there's the little bird by the ranch is the best way of doing it. They drop 200 a go, and when you've got the light arrows, the little skulls with the wings. If you kill those with a light arrow, they will always drop 50 rupees. So I spent the last 20 minutes of the game before I went to the moon just getting enough money to get a last heart piece. I was this is easy.
Yeah, I just did the competition the Bay Coast, where you have to throw your 2 fins and they wrap around and hit the 5 or 6 chests.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because I think it costs 10, but you get 100, and so it takes like 2 seconds. And you walk away with.
Whenever you guys started a cycle, did you always go to the Did you always go to that one? There's like a silver rupee chest inside of Clocktown that's super easy to get to.
With the bomb?
Oh yeah.
It's like above the bomb house or something like that. I forgot. It's above one of the houses. But yeah, you sort of just kind of shimmy around. You can actually make the long jump to it. It's just kind of cleverly hidden, but once you get to it, you can get to it every time, and there's always a silver rupee in it.
Yeah, picked that up a few times.
At the beginning, I was really stressed out about making sure I had a bunch of money. And then as it went on, I kind of just rushed to whatever I was supposed to do, and then usually got enough money anyways.
You didn't need money very often.
Yeah.
There's no reason to have money in the game.
No, because of the time mechanic. Like, every time you reset time, you lose all your arrows, all your bombs, and literally everything. So it's like, why am I saving up the money to buy all the arrows when I can pick them up for free?
The
and
only
then I'm
reason
going
I
to
did
lose
it
them
was
anyway.
that 1,000 rupee prize that gets you a heart piece. That's the only reason I really collected money.
That, or
Yeah.
if there's that one jerk of an enemy that steals an item and takes it back
Oh,
to town, and you have to buy it back.
That's the bird that I was killing for
okay.
the 200. Yep, it stole the Great Fairy Sword off of me. I was like, you.
Ooh.
Depending what he takes, it can really screw up your game. So yeah, that would be like the only real reason, other than like heart pieces or whatever, that it was worthwhile to always have money with you. Although he only stole something once, never stole anything ever again.
Yeah. You get it back anyway if you rewind time.
I wasn't willing. I'm all about like punishing the player. Remember, I wanted the moon to hit and erase your save file. So I figured if it wasn't in my hand when I rewound time, it wouldn't be there.
Do you know, I did that and I thought of you. I thought, I'm going to do this and see if Josh has coded my card in case it does it. Oh, you didn't, so that's good.
Imagine how upset you would have been if that actually happened, though.
I would have.
I would have gotten the worst message from you.
You would have done. I don't get angry very easily, but that would have been.
That would have been enough.
That would have been my moment. Yeah.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I was like, all right, I'm about to go fight the final boss. I have to watch it once. And so I saved. Around time, I saved, and I like fast forward everything through. And it ends, and I'm like, it'd be really screwed up if they actually listened to me, because the whole game would be blown. I'm like 10 minutes away from the end, and I do this.
Nintendo like rewired managed to get a network through all their game cards and thought, oh, that Josh Curry came up with a really good idea. Let's put it in and just
Or just do it to mine. All the terrible things I've said about Nintendo, they'll get back at me.
Do you find yourself nervous through those kind of segments?
What?
You know, like when you're counting down like that? I don't know, I always get like just kind of a bit like tense, I guess, whenever you see a clock counting down like that.
Well, I mean, like with the previous game I played for Retro, Nier, especially with the last ending where you lose everything, like I was kind of on my edge. Like I knew it wasn't going to happen, but it was so gut-wrenching and so slow. Like the moon, you could see it just crashing down and the tower was falling, and I just thought, oh my god, I thought, this is horrible. And I thought, wait a minute, what if this actually affects something?
Oh, see? You guys are coming to my side about this.
Well, then there's also like the fact that I played Undertale at the end of last year, and literally if you kill one person and decide, oh no, I'm going to reset the game, they remember.
Feel it.
They remember, and it's like, oh no, that's it. I can't go back now. I can't change things.
Not to completely derail, but they also did that where it's like if you get the worst ending, it subsequently affects the best ending.
It does. You can't get it, or you can't get it, can you? If I remember, I haven't tried to.
But it changes it, and it changes it to become kind of the worst ending, and it's just gut wrenching.
Oh, I need to do that.
I need to play Undertale.
Got the whole.
You do.
Yeah, I don't reckon you'll like it though.
Wow.
I don't think you'll like anything though. I don't really know. I haven't sussed out the puzzle that is Josh. Like.
Of what I enjoy.
I mean, you like Nier. I know that.
Nier's pretty good.
You will like the ideas in Undertale, I'd like to think. I think you'll appreciate it, even if you don't.
And for the record, I don't have a problem with Majora's Mask. I just want to
No,
make
I
sure
know.
that's known.
Alright.
Just like, please, Nintendo. I don't hate you that much, really.
I love Nintendo. I just don't like Nintendo in the last 10 years or so.
Okay, fair enough.
That is
Anyway, yeah.
Back to Zelda, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were talking about time. One of the things I heard, I started looking I finished the game and we've had a little bit of time between finishing the game and recording. I started looking at big differences, and one of the things I saw was they did the time slowness difference between the 64 and the 3DS version. And it sounded like, I wasn't able to confirm this, but the 64 cuts the time in half, while the 3DS only takes a third of time off. So technically, the game still runs faster in the 3DS.
Oh, really?
And I found that really interesting because I feel like a lot of the changes that they made in the game between the two versions made it so that the game was easier.
Yeah.
And I felt like that time slowness is like the number one way that they're like, we might have made these elements easier, but you're still going to have to move faster than you would have in the 64 version. So it kind of rebalances the game, I guess.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think I did hear something about that. For some reason, it sounds kind of familiar.
I thought that was really interesting because as I was going through the game, we talked about this last time. I kept trying to identify like throughout like different walkthroughs or whatnot what the difference was between, so I'd know what the 64 was like, and every time I was like, they made this interesting, they made this more better. Wow, fuck, more better. They made this better. They made this more interesting. And then it was all of that was the direction of like almost every change, with the exception of the swimming. I know everybody's really upset about how he swims.
Yeah.
But that was the one time that was like they made a conscious decision they were going to not make it much more easier.
Yeah. On that topic, the Song of Time in the N64 version was the only way to properly save your game. Whereas in this one, you had like loads of save points, but the only way to like save what you'd done was play the Song of Time on the N64, go back, and it would save what you'd done.
Easily the most confusing thing about the original game was how that save system worked.
That doesn't even make any sense.
The owl, like, what? But in this version, you can save scum, so you can actually do the Anjum Cafe quest technically without screwing up midway.
Wait, did both of you guys screw up on that? What happens if you screw up?
There's a lot of weird repercussions depending when you screw up.
Yeah, like the mask just fell down for me, but I think it was more the fact that I hadn't saved it along the way, and then I just sort of lost my patience and was like, you know what, I just want to finish the game.
You can like at one point, like if you don't tell Anju to wait behind for Cafe, Cafe will arrive and she will not be there, and he's just kind of like, dang it.
That's that's so depressing.
The world's about to end and your girlfriend already skipped town.
So I don't get that. Like, there is a ginormous moon coming down and going to hit the Earth. Do you think moving a mile out of town is going to save you? Like, where are they going to go? This is going to destroy the world. You might as well just hang out in your house and be comfortable.
I guess the point doesn't hurt to try.
I guess.
I don't know, he'll be out of the blast radius. Maybe.
I kept thinking about that. I was like, they always talk about like, oh, the asteroid that might have killed the dinosaurs was like the size of a house. And I'm pulling that on my butt, but like, it's one of the things like, this thing's massive. I know it's not going super fast, but this is going to wreck everything.
Yes, the impact. Yeah.
So.
Shoot, what else? I'm actually looking at a whole bunch of the like changes too. So like same thing when you're starting the Anjum Cafe quest and you get like the key to the hotel room. Anju mistakes you for a Goron, and like before what happened was it would only happen if you were any version of Link, but now it's only if you're dressed as a Goron she mistakes you for a Goron.
I actually I saw that and I made sure to come to the tavern or the inn when the Goron that's supposed to have the room comes. It's super funny, and then it's really kind of sad because he's like, "I'll just go sit outside." Like, oh.
Oh, yeah, that was sad.
I love Gorons. I think they got like the biggest hearts. They're like the dogs of people. They're just kind of happy being what they are.
Yeah, they're like really just gentle.
Enjoying life
Little
as it comes, yeah.
Exactly. Love Gorons. Gorons for life. I can't think of anything better than that. That was terrible, that was.
Oh, and like same thing, they did change the boss in Stone Tower Temple a bit, so like you become like a giant and you actually pull out wrestling moves.
That was cool. I really liked that.
It takes a lot longer to beat him, but I just thought it was such a cool fight that I can't complain.
Actually, yeah, thinking about it did. But like, now that I remember, it took me longer to do Great Bay than it did to do Stone Tower.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it took me the whole 3 days nearly to do Great Bay, and that's because of the boss. Like, the boss isn't hard in Great Bay. It's just a pain in the backside.
I hate that.
Like, literally, you have to swim right in front of it just so it decides it's going to suck you up. And 9 times out of 10, you'll probably get sucked in, and I did loads of times, and I was not having it. I was having a bad day. Great Bay was rubbish. No.
Talk about Bad Bay.
Bad Bay. Oh.
Got it. I think that's 4 podcasts in a row that I've had a stupid pun now. So I'm happy.
Alright, so what else, I guess? I always thought the Garo mask was really weird. The ninjas, they got like swords coming out of their hands.
Yeah, that was the mask. Was that the one in Akana?
Yeah, how many cool things there are in the game. There's so many things that just do not make any sense to me. I'm just like, oh, right on.
Yeah, I think that was the mask I was trying to remember earlier, but
yeah,
they were weird. Again,
it's a weird game.
It's a weird game.
It's a really weird game.
But I do like, I do think I love the whole novel touch of like, you go to the moon, you think it's gonna look horrific. No, it's a beautiful, vast plain.
So we've talked about everything else. I feel like we should actually talk about the ending.
Yeah.
So
okay.
The boss for me was ridiculously easy. How is it if you fight it normally?
Ridiculously easy.
Well, that's
like
that's depressing.
It's to be honest, well, whether you can count this as normal or normally is or not, but I did drink some alcoholic milk and went in with the magic and was like, just gonna shoot light arrows at you. But even without the light arrows, like, it's a pretty easy done boss. I liked it. I mean, I tell you what, like, I'd heard and people talk about how creepy the final boss is of Majora's Mask. When you play it, it's totally a lot. You understand, like, what the hell is the music? Like, what is going on? Kind of with everything. It just felt really uncomfortable playing it.
Like that whole idea that like whatever Majora's Mask is just strictly crazy. Like between the fact that it kind of chirps and giggles and all that stuff. It's just really weird. Yeah, because the whole final boss is just kind of just a bizarre fight with a crazy person.
So I can't remember. They don't really even explain what the mask is, right? I just not remembering that correctly.
They give you little tidbits and you kind of connect the dots.
Apparently I didn't connect the dots.
Andrew's mom or whatever. Andrew's mom, yeah, she kind of tells you a story if you have the All Night Mask that kind of talks about it.
I am not remembering that. Okay.
It's a bit easy to miss. I don't know how necessary it is either. I forgot. But yeah, she tells a bit of a story that gives you some backstory, and you get more about the Skull Kid just kind of being lonely, and the giants.
Giants are so weird.
Yeah.
Oh, the noise that they make.
Head and limbs.
The first time it happened, I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
It was like, I beat a temple. Like, yeah, let's do this. And it cuts this thing, and there's just like this weird thing in the distance, and then we just like, it's not even honk or it's like a moan. It's like, all right, let's just moan together. Okay.
So weird.
Yeah, I like them. I thought they were very charming.
You think everything's charming.
Oh,
The charming Majora's
they're
Mask
just
way.
heads with limbs, man, and they're helping you lift the moon. They can't be that bad.
That is true. They help you out in the end, so it's all worth it.
Oh, yeah, you can also go fight the Skull Kid if you don't have all the giants collected, and like, you know, the moon is still falling, but like they kind of stop it for a little bit.
Oh, really?
Wait, so
Yeah.
you could beat
So,
the
like,
game before doing all the dungeons?
See, again, like they put a lot of time into like kind of weird stuff like this, where it's like you can go into a battle half-assed, and you know they might acknowledge it. But yeah, so if you go in with like two of the giants collected or whatever, so they'll both arrive and they'll play that cinematic. They just won't show you the other two, you know, where they're supposed to be.
Oh.
Yeah, so they can't stop it. So I mean, everything's still gonna go to hell, but I mean, you know, they still arrive if you do the song. You know, so it still kind of has a path that it follows.
Yeah. I like that because they just want to save Skull Kid. At the end of the day, they're stopping the moon. But I think they say, because I remember in the end, Skull Kid's like, can we still be friends? And the giants are like, yeah, of course we can still be friends.
Aww.
So Skull Kid, I really like Skull Kid, and I like the way, this is jumping back a little bit to an earlier discussion with the town dynamic. Everyone in the town seems to know Skull Kid. So some people are like, he's probably not a bad person. And some people are like, oh, he caused this and stole this off of me. And then there's the Deku Scrub or the Deku Butler, who's like, to Link, if you remind me of my son. And I'm kind of like, Skull Kid?
No, he's
like,
the guy that you find when you first come in. He's the husk of a guy.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know. I just made the link, maybe. But
maybe you might be right, but I'm pretty sure it's you're wearing his son.
Oh,
you're wearing
shoot.
his son because you find him, and that's why he remembers you because you look exactly like his son because
damn,
you ripped his face off.
Actually, no, that's actually kind of cool though. So like when you get the Deku mask, you can kind of assume that Deku shrub that you meet has been dead for maybe a little while. For the Goron mask, you figure out that he just died recently. They actually think you came back.
Mm-hmm.
But then you see Zora as he's dying, and that's when you get his mask.
Oh, no. I feel silly for missing.
They kind of really make kind of a step up the ante every time you're kind of collecting a mask that, it's linked to somebody who's died.
I feel like the last guy shouldn't have died. If he didn't play that song and conserved a little bit of his energy.
Your song killed him.
It's like, what are you doing? You can't even move, and you're gonna jump up and like rock out. Like, what are you? Come on now. That's not smart.
That was actually one of the new places I really liked. Was that the music hall or whatever? Oh, that was really cool.
The concert hall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And having that electrical fish guitar is super fancy. Whoa. But yeah. So in terms of the final, slew of mini dungeons or whatever, did anyone have as much trouble as I did with the Goron segment, where you have to like zigzag through you have to do the Goron dash?
I don't remember that being hard.
I didn't do it.
Okay, well, it was really hard for me just because the original game had, the N64 button had like the hexagon that it kind of nicely fit into.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the 3DS doesn't have that, so it's way easier to kind of not, be in a straight line.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
you tend to fall off here.
Yeah, there are similar bits that I struggled with. Like, just anywhere that didn't have like I suppose it'd be cheating if it had a barrier, it'd be too easy. But like, the 3DS joystick is really slippery.
Yeah.
It's not got the grooves in it.
No friction on it.
Yeah,
3DS
and like
as a whole is just a terrible system.
Oh,
I really don't like it.
Oh, okay.
No. So like,
no, don't.
I love Alana's reaction there.
It has fantastic games, but it never feels right in my hands. Like, it always feels heavy.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel right. Like my hands don't fit on it correctly.
One of the greatest games of like the last or current gen, Kid Icarus Uprising. Oh man, if the controls for that game were slightly better.
Wait. You're saying that's one of the best games of the last generation?
I loved it. I thought it was from top to bottom a ton of fun.
Alright, so for the record.
Not the controls. The controls, take it from like a 9 to something else, but for the 3DS anyway. Oh my god, I don't really care, man, about these lists, okay? I just say it's a really good game. Won by some terrible controls, okay? Stop your sighing.
I periodically get a lot of crap for my opinions, and then I'm on a podcast with somebody that says Kid Icarus is one of the best games of the last generation. It's a little hard.
I had fun with it. I'm not really a harsh critic though.
Well, I'm happy you enjoyed it.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's just whenever we're planning the episodes for retro, I'm always like a little disappointed when I have to play on the 3DS. And I actually would rather play on the DS because I feel like that's a better system.
I think overall, yeah, and I think the Vita is a nice little system to hold.
The Vita's fantastic.
Vita's great.
The quality on the screen just makes me happy every single time I turn it on.
Oh.
Just the beautiful LED screen or whatever. Oops.
And that was
great.
That was the only thing that too. This is the longest I've had to in like a straight sitting play the 3DS since I got it. Was going through Zelda, and it was one of those things. I was like, I feel sore in my shoulders. Like I think I have like tennis elbow. Like what's going on here?
You find creative ways to hold it.
What?
You find creative ways to hold it. Like I kind of had a pillow under me sometimes.
Oh no.
Just kind of my wrists and all that.
I just toughed through it and then complained heavily when I was not playing it. I wasn't smart enough, I guess, to put a pillow down. But yeah, it's just I can get what you're saying though with some of the controls because there were times that it just kind of got sloppy when you're moving around, and the Goron was especially because you're going so fast with some of those rolls. And then so as you move on, you have to be smarter about how you're rolling, otherwise you can fall and then you have to redo a whole segment, which is terrible.
Yeah.
So I can get you on that. I can understand.
Thank you.
It's one of the few times that somebody that was super excited about a 64 controller, so that's kind of ironic. Yeah. So.
Oh, overall opinions? Was it good? Does it rank high as a Zelda game?
It is the best Zelda game I've ever finished.
What?
I've not got a lot to compare it to. I mean, I think I prefer Ocarina and Link to the Past. It was alright. I always struggle with Zelda games anyway. Like, they're kind of I can appreciate them as they are, but I'm never desperate to go back to them. Like, I'm always like, yeah, I'm done with this, and it kind of feels like a landmark or a bit of not a landmark. Maybe like, oh, I've done this now. This person can stop nagging me to tell me to play this game now.
Zelda,
a little
bit.
The
kind of James Bond of video games, where it's like they're always releasing new ones. It's been around for a while, and yeah, you go in every time, have a good time with it. Whether it stays with you is.
Yeah. I do appreciate what Majora's Mask has done, and I did really like it. I thought I was going to hate it, and I didn't, which was the nicest thing about it, I think. I just don't think I'm going to jump back into it very quickly, but I'm like that with all Zelda games. They're just not for me overall, I guess. But this did a good job, so pretty happy.
Yeah, that was part of the reason I wanted to push to get as close as possible to 100%. I like you were saying, Alana, I'm not coming back to this. It was a great experience. I'm really happy I did it. I can finally say that I beat a Zelda game. Yay! And it is a legitimately good game. There's just not a lot that I'd want to go back to and necessarily experience again because I feel like I had the whole experience that I needed. And that's not to detract of the quality of the game. I legitimately did enjoy it. It's just I'm not in a rush to go back and play this again, and I'm legitimately not in a rush to actually go and play any other Zelda game.
I had no problem with the time mechanic in this game, but it's oddly something that does not make me want to come back to it and kind of experience it again.
Right, I can see that because it's not like a leisurely jaunt. You have to be on your game.
It wasn't that bad, but yeah, like you said, not a leisurely jaunt. Yes.
That works.
I'm going to look that up now.
I think it works. I think yeah.
What?
I should know. The phrase. Oh, do you know?
Are we correcting my grammar now?
I think so. I'm pretty sure it's correct.
It's correct.
No, I just like the word.
I'm correct, right?
You are.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All of a sudden, you guys are making me doubt myself.
Good.
No, but it is one of those things. Like you just can't go through and just kind of half-ass move around and have fun. Like at some point, you have to engage. I mean, you can always just restart the day, but it keeps you a little bit more on your toes of having to pay attention. So I could see where it'd be better to just go back and relax in other Zelda games than this one instead of this one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good. Hey, all three of us gave thumbs up. This is like a new trend. This almost never happens.
Yay.
2 games back to back that everybody was liking it.
Good.
Yes, I thought it was a fantastic experience, especially on an atmosphere level. When it comes to gaming, I'm all about like kind of atmosphere and kind of themes going on, and I loved both. So even if a game kind of fails on a gameplay level or whatever, if it strikes a great atmosphere with me, it's a total win for me. I thought this game had it in spades.
Yeah, this game definitely wins out with that.
Definitely does.
Absolutely. So that I think does it for Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask.
We did it.
We completed it.
We saved Termina.
Such a sad name for a town about to get annihilated and terminated.
Yeah.
Or it's a terminal for Link before he goes home.
That's true. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So many levels. It's so deep.
1 year to make it or whatever.
Yeah, it was something crazy.
Yeah,
I wanna
very
say
time.
it was almost 9 months is what's sticking in my mind. But yeah, it's a crazy turnaround. And that's we talked about this last time. That's why they reuse so much stuff between Ocarina
But
and
it
this.
worked. They actually really made it work without seeming, just like a complete recycling.
Yeah.
Well, they did a good job.
They did a fantastic job.
Yay!
So next month we're going to be playing another very deep game. A game that Alana is absolutely adoring.
Don't spoil it. Shh.
Oh,
But I
sorry.
do. No, well, I think
it's a
everybody's.
game that Alana maybe has thoughts on, but we'll have to wait and see what they are.
Oh boy, I can't wait.
But next month we are playing through Xenogears.
Yeah.
I guess Square Classic. I think that's safe to
Square
say.
Classic. I think so.
Yeah, so in the meantime, everybody that's listening, jump onto the boards at rpgfan.com or send an email to retro@rpgfan.com. And give us your thoughts both on Zelda, and then also get some emails in, some questions for Xenogears so we can include them in our future podcasts. And then outside of that, please go onto iTunes or Google Play, wherever you listen to the podcast. Review, give us a good score, give us a good comment. That'd be awesome. Yeah. In the meantime, that's going to do it for us at Retro Encounter. Thank you for listening.